Hey everyone, welcome back to another live broadcast. You have Jenna and Kelly here. What's up, Kelly?
Woo-hoo! Nice to see you.
Listen, we are so excited to be actually going live together. We were actually just chatting about this, how just like easy breezy it is because it's so conversational when we get to hang out with you guys and answer any questions that are coming in. So before we dive into today's question, our Q&A, and do an unboxing of a new heat press, then we are going to, before we do that, we're going to just talk about some events that we've been attending to kind of wait for you guys to jump in, and then we'll go from there. So, Kelly, what trade show were you just at?
I was just at DAX Chicagoland. It was packed, and I know that show was probably the biggest one, even by vendor count. So I think DAX is starting to kind of return back to normal, because of COVID and everything. But classes were packed and our booth was like nonstop traffic. So it was just good to see everybody. And whether they were new business, there were a couple that actually came specifically to kind of get a guide on how to start a business.
Gotcha.
And a lot of younger as well. So like 20, which was kind of awesome. It was awesome to see 18 to 20. They're just ready to start a business. So
yeah, for sure. So I got a lot of like similar audience or people that I was talking to in Denver just 2 weeks ago. So you did DAX, that's Decorated Apparel Expo, and I was at Graphics Pro Expo, otherwise known as GPX, formerly known as NBM. And one of my favorite shows to attend throughout the year. They have a lot of really great locations. So if you guys are waiting for an event to attend this year so that you guys can get more hands-on experience with new products, experience some new innovations, and of course, attend some of the greatest education that you can get in person, definitely check out DAX and GPX because they're at a lot of locations, like I said, and there's just a lot to see. I love now that events are starting to get back to normal. I feel like we've been talking about this for a long time, but in the past, we were just seeing as things were opening back up that they were pretty small. There weren't a lot of vendors. So we're starting to see that open up more and more vendors attending. So you have more people to talk to. So definitely get into some of those events. All the locations are listed on our website on the Stalls events page if you guys are interested in some of those upcoming ones. So again, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Looks like we have a few people joining from both sides. We always love to see who is joining. We can see the number count, but we can't see the names. So go ahead and comment and let us know that you are here joining us. And then we are going to also be answering your questions during this session. So we love to do a Q&A. We want to see what questions you guys have out there in the industry currently as you are running your business and you are, in the mix of it all. You guys are working with a lot of different products. You guys are heat pressing, screen printing, embroidering. So tell us what questions you guys have about business related things or products that you may have worked with. While you guys are coming up with those questions, we are also going to be doing an unboxing. Now, we call it a new heat press. It's one that you probably have seen and love and want to know more about. Or it's one that you may already have. It's new to me because this is the first time I'm actually bringing it home and I'm going to be using it in studio so that we can further educate you guys on this press and all the things that you can do with it. And that is the 360 IQ. All right, so we're going to be unboxing that. So for those of you that aren't familiar with it or want to see it firsthand, this is going to be a great live to check that out. And while I'm doing that, Kelly is going to keep an eye on comments and questions that are coming in, which we are finally starting to get some comments. So thank you guys.
I know. It's got to be like a 2 to 3 minute delay.
Yeah.
Which stinks because if you're asking questions or you're waiting for answers, then it's like you have that lull of, if you keep talking, then you're going to keep putting everything behind. But then if you don't talk, then it's just an awkward silence for 2 to 3 minutes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So we've got, Vince, are you still on? Because this is killing me. I need to type something to get a comment. Vince is, a tried and true viewer on lives for us. And that I saw that and I just giggled.
There have been times where my phone will just send something because I said something and it'll like fill it in as a comment. So when I saw that earlier, I was like, I wonder if you typed that or if the phone just said it because he made a comment.
He said, yep, I'm here. Okay, so while just keep going, Jenna is unboxing the 360. So as you can see, she's got a couple of fun things on top. She's got a sample pack that is in her right hand. And inside of that, you do get some flex style or the patches and emblems. I keep calling it flex style because for the longest time, we only had flex style. We didn't have the patches. We didn't have other styles of emblems. So that is patches and emblems. And you get, I think it's like 4 samples maybe inside. But
it looks like there's, 4.
So that's just a nice little brochure that comes with the press. If you don't know too much about the 360, you get the pads. You don't need other platens. And Jenna is showing you some patches and emblems that you get. So you pretty much get to take this thing out of the box and you are 100% ready to go, besides having the garment or the headwear that you're getting ready to decorate on. So I think that's awesome that you don't need anything else for the heat press. You don't have to buy additional accessories.
I love this little sample pack that comes in here. So that's the first thing. It's like right on top, and then you get all of the info on the press. I keep going the wrong way. The testing report to make sure that everything is set up.
I keep trying to picture in picture layout, hit shift 7. No?
What if we did this?
Well, I was, yay! I was trying to shrink me so we could have a bigger view on what it is you are going through.
All right. So, and then you get the operator's manual. So this will just tell you, what you need to get hooked up. And am I coming through okay on your end, Kelly?
It's a little pixelated, but I think it's coming back. Your volume's fine. I think there we go. Now you're clear again.
Real quick, I'm going to just hardwire in just to make sure I don't lose you guys. This is how these lives go.
Let's see.
They're experiencing what we go through all the time. Okay.
So Mike said he just ordered the new hot press. He can't wait to get it. So Mike, I'm assuming that you ordered the 360. I am sure you're counting down the days because you are going to love it. Darren says, unbox, please. We've got Sharon that loves her 360. Several of you are saying hi. So hello. And then I do see that Ricky Daddy has a question on the i560 white toner printer, just our thoughts. So we'll touch on that once Jenna's done taking the 360 out of the box. I love that you guys are already sending questions in. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that we didn't overlook them. Whoop! Box tops off.
I'm so excited. Okay. So then we have 2 other pieces on the side just to make sure that the press doesn't get damaged in shipping. And am I going to be able to lift this up? Okay, yeah, got it out. Got it out. All right. Not too bad.
I
I
know.
was thinking about lifting that up out of the box live because I'm like, oh my gosh, am I gonna like totally like wreck myself here?
No,
Okay.
I know you'd be fine because mine goes up on this and I need a step stool to get to mine because it's too tall.
Yeah.
So I was like, you'll be fine. I know you'd be fine.
Okay. So do I need to bring you guys a little bit closer, maybe? All right, let's see. Is that good?
Yep.
Okay. So there's a little pin up here. So we're gonna unscrew that. And that's just keeping, because it's an auto open, we don't want it to get damaged. So we're going to just make sure that like stays locked while it's in the box. And then there is this little foam pad here too. All right, so we're gonna hold on to that stuff. Another thing that came with the heat press, this is important. See, you can see how important it is. It says important on it. I want to make sure we keep on holding on to these foam pads. Right, so they're going to be used based off of what heat press or like what you're heat applying with that machine. So I'm going to go ahead and get this plugged in. Kelly, are there any questions that we can answer while I get this plugged in?
Yeah, so the one about the toner printer, I am not too specific, or I'm not too familiar with the specifics of the i560, but a white toner printer, I mean, it's going to have its pros and cons, just like really any type of heat transfer printer. The thing about a white toner printer is you can easily do one full color, right? Like you can print and get what you need to done with smaller quantities. The things to consider about any type of toner printer is the time in printing and then transferring. So not only do you have to print your sheet, which goes pretty quick, you then have to take that image and transfer it onto transfer paper, which takes some time. And then you take that transfer and then transfer it onto your garment, which can take some time. So the cool thing about a toner printer is there's a variety of different hard goods that you can also press, but you just have to consider the ink, the paper, and then the time itself. So, Ricky, what are you doing in your business? What type of items are you looking to do? Are you wanting full color capability? That's where we at Stalls really try to understand your business and then direct you in that direction versus just telling you, no, that piece of equipment is not good or it's fantastic, because not every piece of equipment is going to make sense for that decorator. Do you have any thoughts on the toner printer?
Just that another thing is to consider, wait, the question specifically was,
Here, I'll pop it up.
Okay, what are your thoughts on that i560 white toner printer? So I don't have a ton of experience with the material that goes into a toner printer, similar to you, Kelly, but I do know it's a lot like a transfer paper. And I've always been told by attendees at trade shows that are considering that investment that they're concerned about durability. So whatever that product is that they're putting into the white toner printer, it doesn't wash. It doesn't have longevity in the wash cycle, or like that's one of the challenges. So it serves its purpose for people that need one-off t-shirts, maybe for one event or something like that. But that is, yeah, that's pretty much what I know about it. If you're considering a printer, I would look at some of the eco solvent options that are out there. Those are going to have a little bit more longevity in the product that you're printing itself, which means it's going to hold up in the wash cycle through your wash and dry cycles, so that you don't have to give like very specific care instructions, which just can be headache with your customers. You might get, people coming back dissatisfied with the product. So you just want to be careful. Do your research on some of the other printers out there based off of the product that it's actually going to print on. That's all I really have to add there, Kelly.
Yeah, like we both said, we're not experts in toner printers.
Yeah.
But from what I have heard from customers, I have customers, I say that, I used to have a territory and I cannot get we have customers, right? So Stalls has customers that I'm like, my customer, and they're like, it's not mine. They're not mine anymore. The biggest thing is I know people that love testing and adding on new equipment. And they have a UV printer, they have toner printers, they have sublimation, they have eco-solvent, they have, even the new like Glow Forge, because that gives you that laser capability. But they're using each piece of equipment for different things. So if you're wanting something a little bit more versatile, you can use whenever, wherever, just do your research on a variety of different printers. But if you're looking for that one-off, let's just get it done. Somebody's walking in and you're designing something and you want to print it on the spot. Yeah. There's just all those things to consider.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing is whenever we're talking outside of just products that we know and love and that we work with, there is a lot of other opportunities out there to use other equipment or other print, let's call them print technologies, outside of just your heat transfer vinyl, your screen print transfers, and your heat presses. There's a purpose for everything, right? I don't think anybody is just selling white toner printers just to sell white toner printers. They all have their purpose, and they all are able to, fulfill the needs of specific customers. You just have to know your customer best, what's going to serve them best, whether that's a white toner printer or maybe something next level that's going to last longer. It's whatever your customer wants, and them best.
Okay, so moving on from that. So guys, Jenna, all she had to do was plug in the cord, right? This is a plug and play.
Plug and play.
Which I love. To play. It's right. It's a plug and play. Like a lot of people at shows ask if we come and we do any type of install of equipment. That's including the dual air. Do we install the dual air? Do we install an air fusion, a fusion? I've had people ask if we do any type of installation for an autoclam. And no, because there's no installation to be done. You can literally take these machines out of the box, put them in wherever they need to go, and plug in the cord and turn it on. The only exception would be obviously any type of air models where you have to set up your air compressor. But plug and play. That's it. So go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So like Kelly said, just plugged it in. It's going to pop up the screen. It's immediately going to start going to temperature. Now, the beauty of this thing is that it does have presets. So it already has flex style queued into the system. So it's already going to that temperature. As soon as I turned it on, it started automatically heating up. There was nothing that I needed to do in that menu, and it's going to that first preset setting. Now you can customize your own settings in here. So if I wanted to add maybe the setting for a 3D embroidered patch, I could do that. Or maybe it's for this genuine leather patch. I could do that, right? So the beauty of this is that it's going to take out all of the guesswork, okay? So with this, we have top and bottom heat, right? Top and bottom. So that's the innovation here. A lot of you have probably seen and done your research on cap presses, but this is the one that is going to allow you to do structured caps, right? Such as this one, something that's structured. And you can do a variety of styles of structured caps without having to damage them, right? And when we say damage, we mean scourge or maybe create like a very harsh crease on the top of that cap. This is going to avoid all of that from happening. And the reason is because of this bottom platen that you see here. And then because it also is heating up to its own temperature as well. So we're able to now cure our transfers, our heat transfers, whether that be a patch, whether that be heat transfer vinyl. Keep in mind, guys, yes, we are showing you patches and emblems, but that doesn't mean I can't do heat transfer vinyl. So Kelly has done a lot of soft foam on caps. She's done sublimation transfers on caps, all with her 360 IQ. So you're not just subject to just doing patches. You can do a lot of those other transfers that you're already working with. So don't rule those out. Now, if you wanted to turn off the bottom heat and you use this as a standard cap press, you can do that too, right? So all I have to do is click my bottom heat, and all I have to do is then select off, and it'll just turn that bottom heat off. So if I'm ever working with maybe a screen print transfer, or maybe with sublimation where I know I just want to use top heat only, I can do that. Now, Kelly, I have a question for you. Whenever you did the sublimation on the foam trucker cap, did you turn off bottom heat, or did you use both top and bottom?
I did. I turned off the bottom, and part of that was because of the thickness of the foam.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I needed the top heat right for the sublimation to get that ink basically infused to the material. So I didn't want to hit it too hard from upper and lower because I didn't feel like I could drop. Now, I didn't and have not tested it extensively to where like how much lower could I go? Could I do 350 versus 395 or 365, whatever? I think it's 395 for 60 or 45 seconds. What I did do was release up on the pressure, just because of the sensitivity of the foam. I got a better finish of the foam when I loosened the pressure.
Gotcha.
I need the sample.
So there wasn't like an indentation on the foam.
Right. So the first time I did it, it was almost like it was there was too much pressure. Like you could see a little bit of stress in the white foam. And when I loosened it up a little bit, there was just a much better finish. But I did not have like a crazy box, like you would with some other presses. The biggest thing was just not scorching the heck out of that poly.
Right.
Right.
Because not all polyesters are made equal. We talk about that a lot whenever it comes to scorching. And I think that that's why we always talk about using bottom heat, so that we can cure the adhesive from inside the poly instead of just using top heat only. But I feel like foam layered with a polyester for those checkered caps makes it very tough to use top heat only, because of that foam wanting to get crushed, and then the polyester on top of that wanting to kind of get scorched.
Yep.
So they can be hard.
It's definitely something I want to do more testing on, just to see like if we can find that perfect, Right. But with hats right now, I feel like if I can scoop up 10, then I can do a whole bunch of testing on it. But I feel like it's harder to get, the hat you want at the moment.
Yeah. So that's another thing, is where to source hats. So right now, where are you getting most of your hats? Like, what are your favorite brands to use?
I mean, my still go-to is more S&S than anything.
Mm-hmm. They do have a large variety of different brands there.
They do. And there were a couple, like, it might be Independent Trading Co. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
The Game was this tie-dye one. I found some fun outdoor cap, but we all know, I feel like we all know outdoor cap. This one has been a huge, like, ooh, there we go. I feel like a lot of people have responded well to this one. And this is The Game. And they have, a variety of different colors. Do you have the black and white one?
Oh, no, The Game did this.
Yep.
Bucket hat. I absolutely love it. I think it's so cute.
So there's a question about bucket hat. So I'll ask you that in just a second.
Okay.
But there's been a couple where I've like gone to order it, and of course they were not in stock yet. And if something isn't in stock and we're either planning like education or content, then I don't make a mental note because I'm like, I'll just check and see, I normally always find it again. What about you? What about you for hats?
So I actually am going to use this time to share a new one that I found. Or actually, I didn't find. I'm not going to take credit for that. So I'm going to rewind because I did not find this. Actually, someone that uses Richardson religiously. And we know how hard it is to come by like good inventory of Richardson at this point in time, which God bless them. I can't imagine what they must be going through. But this is actually a Richardson owned company and they are called Blank. And I'm actually going to share this link in the comments now so that you guys can check them out on your own. But I'm also going to share my screen here so that you guys can see this, right? So they are just doing really cool, like next level retail styles. And a customer in Denver actually showed me this brand and just all of the unique things that they're doing. And one of the ones that really stood out to me was this 7-panel
Oh
hat.
my gosh.
And it's called the Bonfire. And it's just, it is so cool. It comes down, it has little flaps to go over the ears, right? It's corduroy on the inside, and it's like this puff on the like those puff vests.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they're just doing like really
cool,
unique styles. And I love I'm sorry, I didn't mean to click that one. This is cool, obviously, because it has that faux suede bill, which I think is really unique. I think the style of it in general is really cool. But this one right here, and this one too. Do you see how they have that panel just set up straight across? Perfect for heat pressing, right? It's already getting a print layout for you right there so that you can just drop in a custom logo or anything like that. But, this one's really cool, this 5-panel. I like how they do the color blocking. They're doing some, what is this called? I can't remember what this pattern is called.
It's distorted. It's distorted on my end, but it's just because of how it looks. Is it like a gingham or?
No.
Oh, seersucker?
Seersucker. There it is. I was going to say herringbone, and I'm like, that's not what that is. But yeah, so they're just doing some really cool stuff. This is another one
that's
that
awesome.
I think is really unique. And I'm just like, could you imagine walking into a retail store and this retail store has their brand all on these like really cool hats? Like, I would never forget that brand. And I guarantee you, I would just always shop there just because they're doing this unique stuff. So one of the things that we talk about a lot whenever we're presenting to you guys, whether that be here live or in on-site education, we are always talking about setting yourselves apart and being unique. So it's finding these little like nuggets or these little rock star brands that are doing something really cool and really different that are helping us set ourselves apart. So check out this this wholesaler. So that's another important thing, is that they are a wholesaler. And then you can get into different like segments with them based off of like what your discount will be on how many that you're purchasing. So I just got an account set up with them actually this morning. Like, we went through the whole like contract deal. You sign it, go through everything, and then they'll approve you. And as soon as you get approved, you can then start buying. And you typically get approved first day. But I did it late, so it didn't happen till this morning. But a lot of really cool stuff that they're doing there. I also obviously love the tried and true alternative, like dad style hats. I mean, you can never go wrong with these unstructured caps. They're just very, what's the word that I'm looking for here? Like you can do a lot with them.
Yeah, they're easy. I mean, they fit a lot of different head shapes and sizes, male, female.
And they're just a basic like canvas, like cotton material. So there's a lot that you can print on them. You're not like, limited. We'll call it that. Okay. So I am finally to temperature. So
I think you've actually used a bucket hat before, right? Like you've done.
yeah.
I have a bucket hat lined up in my stash to record, but I feel like you've actually printed.
It's super easy. So depending, what's great about this heat press, and I'm going to readjust here. Okay. What's amazing about this heat press is that you can load virtually any type of cap on here. You are only limited when it comes to like small, like maybe some youth styles, right? But as far as hats go and, your standard type of hat, anything can get loaded on here. And this bucket hat is going to work the same way a standard cap would. You're going to flip out that little band inside. You can lock it in place if you want to, because there is a lever here, which was already pushed back. So now I can lock that in place so it's not moving around on me. And if I wanted to maybe do the bill of the bucket hat, all I have to do is just set that there, and then I can press it. Now, one of the things that I love to have handy, I actually am working on getting this shipped to me as we speak. I just ordered it yesterday, is thermotape. Because whenever you're working with different transfers, not all of them do have a tacky backing, or maybe some don't even come with a carrier or backing to it where it starts to stick and just hold it in place. So that thermotape will help, right? But I can spin this bucket hat however I want to, print any part of it. And again, this brand is the game, and they do a lot of good bucket hats, right? So I know that bucket hats are trending, and there are some that can kind of look like a fisherman's hat. Yeah, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Kelly. Whenever bucket hats started becoming so popular and they started bringing them into the wholesale side where you can print on them, they were a little bit too big and they reminded me of a fisherman's hat. But the game is doing, like, in my mind, like the perfect size for like a nice retail bucket hat.
Like it.
All right, she's nodding her head. All right, she agrees. All right, let's go ahead and do an application so that you guys can see this thing in action. So again, I am using Alternative here, and this is just their unstructured cap. And again, just it's a nice overall cap. It's good quality. You can tell by just the feel of it and the look of it. So what I'm going to do is flip that sweatband out. So just making sure that you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm flipping this sweatband out and then loading this on my bottom platen, okay? So we wanna make sure that that is out whenever we first load that on, because we don't want that to cause uneven pressure. So this is gonna work the same way anything else would on a heat press. If I was loading a t-shirt onto my A to Z, the first thing I'm gonna do is make sure that collar is off, okay? So same thought process here. We wanna make sure anything that could cause uneven pressure is out of the way. And then to get this nice and flush to the platen, we're just going to push that lever back. Now, you don't need a lot of force with that lever. You just have to push it back and then let it naturally pull back on the hat. If you push it and put a lot of force behind it, it's just going to cause more wear and tear on the heat press. So just let it naturally hold that hat in place. And as I am like fooling around with the hat on here, it's already heated up. I don't need to preheat. If you want to preheat, you can. I'm not going to take that, like, that psychological thing where, oh my gosh, no, I have to preheat before I do anything else. I'm not going to take that away from you. If you want to preheat, preheat, but just know you don't have to waste time doing that. It's already heated up because that bottom platen is at 320. So I went ahead real quick as we were chatting earlier and pulled up the instructions for our genuine leather. Okay. So it's, everything is right on the website. But whenever you do order your transfers, that is going to already be included in the instructions. And you know what? The instructions may have been in here. I don't. Yeah, actually, the instructions are all right here too. So I didn't even need to go pull that up. It comes in the sample pack. Okay. So I am all set up for leather. So I'm going to go ahead and take that patch. You can see how thick that leather is. It looks really, really nice. And I'm just going to place that right in the center. Now, before I put my foam pad over top and lock this down and let it do its thing, what I'm going to do is just set it here, because whenever we're working with thick patches like this, they come flat, right? And it's going onto a curved surface. So what we want to do is make sure that we are getting it formed to the hat a little bit, so that those edges don't lift up immediately. So I'm literally just setting here for a few seconds, just holding that down. And then I'm going to take my foam pad. This is the thinnest one. Again, it takes you through what each one is and what its purpose is for on that important sheet that I held up earlier, right? So I'm going to take this foam pad, put it right over top of there, and I'm going to lock this down. Now, one thing I forgot to do, and this is like, of course I did because I always do this, I forgot to check my pressure, and I can tell by where it's at the moment that there's like no pressure there. So I'm going to dial that down a little bit, and then I'm going to lock that in place, right? So it is going to give me a pressure readout, and right now it says OL, which means that I put my pressure up too high, okay? So we'll give you a pressure readout. It's also giving me an alert that says high print pressure, which is just saying, hey, dial your pressure back. Dial your pressure back. Right, so it auto releases. As you saw, I didn't have to push that back up whenever it was done beeping, letting me know that it was all done. So we have an auto release feature. So if I have to walk away from my press, I can, right? And our leather patch is complete. So in just 30 seconds, I was able to get a genuine leather patch on our cap, right? So I'm going to try to hold this up so you guys can see the dimension of the product.
Love it with that camo too.
Yeah, this does look really good. This is actually something that I think I could walk out of the house in.
Yeah, with what you're wearing. Like, I like it all. Okay, so really fast, Emily asks if there is a quick release cancel to release that top platen. So with auto open function, I think I always just bop the handle.
I always bop the handle too, but I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't think there's a button. I'm pretty sure there's not a button, but when it locks, Emily, if you want it to open up quicker, what did
there's
you
a button for it.
What?
You just did it. I'm like mind blown because I didn't know there was one. Okay, I'm gonna lock this down. Where? There's a little button right here that indicates pressure. If I hit that, it auto releases it.
I've been bopping mine the whole time. Stop.
The more you know. See, this is why we ask you guys to give us questions, because sometimes we learn things too.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
I'm so impressed with this feature. I just realized was a thing. Okay. Boop. Wait. Boop.
Oh. Okay.
Oh my God.
Nice. Well, bopping.
I mean, it's the little things, guys. I'm super geeked.
Amazing. Okay, so for like me, I use an auto clam, right? So I don't have that little button. The 360 IQ has what I call a brain, right? There's settings. There's auto on capabilities for that press. There is you can do production readings, like how many hits you do for that press, how long it takes you to do a job. You can't do that with the auto clam. So the Fusion IQ and the 360 IQ have the same brain, right? With my auto clam, it's going to automatically release, but if I want it to open up any sooner, then I have to, I have to bop that handle. So I was just honestly assuming, but I like, there you
Here
go.
we are. Learn something new every day.
The button.
I feel like such a goofball right now. Okay, so I did see a question come in about if you can do stuff on the bill, right? So we're going to test that out. I just grabbed a transfer real quick. And I want to say this is Ultra Color Soft. So this is going to be a questionable application because I've never used Ultra Color Soft on the 360, but we'll see how it works out. So all I'm doing is just putting the bill right onto that platen. And it's already a curved bill, so it's not going to, it shouldn't, I shouldn't say it's not going to, I don't know yet, but it shouldn't damage it at all. I haven't done the bills of alternative brand yet. But I'm just making sure that the transfer is directly under the heating element, and I'm moving it kind of towards the middle, okay? And I'm just going to let it apply at these settings and see what happens.
Yep.
But if it doesn't work, just know that you can do the bills of hats using the correct settings of whatever the settings call out for heat transfer vinyl. So on our website, if you want to do heat transfer vinyl on the 360, there will be temperature and time applications for top and bottom heat for all of our heat transfer vinyl. Okay, I'm going to do the reveal here.
Pretty.
Okay, I didn't get any pressure up here, so it is lifting a little bit, but that is a beautiful.
Yeah, that looks great, especially with the stitching underneath.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had another question come in from Alex. If we were ever going to come out with a 15 by 15 heat press with top and bottom heat. And I know Carly had already answered this question. What's on this side? But you can actually order a power platen if you have an auto clam or if you have any of the air models. So Alex, this is what the power platen looks like. Okay, it looks like just a normal platen. The only difference is when you lift the cover, there's a thicker pad, and then this is the heating element. So, or the coils, and then it actually requires a box which is attached on the other side of my auto clam, but it mimics that silver part of, and that's what basically regulates and turns on the heat. But this pin goes into the press just like any other platen, and this warms up. There's not a 15 by 15, so we can't solve that problem, but the 11 by 15 or the 16 by 20, depending on if you have a 16 by 20 press. But that's the easiest way to upgrade your press without having to go and purchase a whole new upper and lower unit type of press.
Well, we offer a 15 by 15 max, right?
Yes. So then you would need the 11 by 15.
11 by 15 or the 6 by 10, which is a little bit smaller.
Yep.
And then there's like a 4 by 4.
It's so six. Yeah, it's a 6 by 6. The 4 by 4 is the regular, which I don't know why we went 4 by 4 in one and 6 by 6 in another.
We'll have to ask Hotronics.
Yeah, because the only thing I could think of is that if you were doing like a larger maybe emblem on a bag.
Well, I would say probably because if you are wanting to isolate a smaller area, 4 by 4 might be too small. So the 6 by 6 is going to help get a larger area.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. And the other thought was like, if you were like bags, like that's just where I went was if you wanted a bigger logo, but
and that's another thing too, is if people are just doing like left chest logos and they need dual heat for the apparel that they're printing, you can just load this onto the cat press too. Yep. So keep that in mind, guys. You might not necessarily need top and lower heat if you're just trying to put a patch on a t-shirt or a polo or outerwear and it's just going on the left chest or the sleeve or the yoke. All right. So you guys can use this press for other things. What I recommend doing is probably, you know, laying this out on the table like nice and flat next to you and getting this all placed so that you can see exactly where you're lined up, and then letting it stick there and then loading it on. See, I would need my thermotape because it already fell off. But you get what I'm saying.
You get the point.
Lay it on first and then bring it over. This is still going to be able to heat apply this just fine because this isn't a structured item. It's going to be curved, but as soon as you take it off, you'll just flatten it out and then your patch will be on there. So utilize a heat press for more than just caps too. We have customers that are using this thing religiously for doing not just hats, but the nape of the neck, the yoke, or tags or sleeves and left chests on some of those other apparel items so that they don't have to tie up their other heat press. So keep that in mind. There's more that you can do with it than just the caps. For a long time, people were just doing masks on their cat presses.
Yep.
So
that little arch.
Are people still printing masks? I'm curious. I know it depends on area at this point, like what regulations are, but I figured since the airlines are now allowing you to go maskless. All right, let's see.
Ben said he's done koozies on a cat press.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. I love this. I love this question.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, then honestly, then the auto open, I don't know. I honestly don't know, James, because I think that would be great to have like the auto clam and then have the settings of the Fusion or the IQ brain. I guess it's the IQ. The Fusion is the drawer and swing functionality of it. But what happens is a lot of people are at a Fusion IQ or they're using a auto clam, right? And then when they go to upgrade, their upgrade is to an Air model because it's all ergonomic, but I completely understand the functionality of the IQ. So like, love it. We'll send it in. Carly's on the other side. She's the one that's been providing links for everybody. So all three of us, we've heard it. We'll pop her in and see if it's possible. I don't know because of the amount of elements in the IQ. That's where I wish I, knew more about the engineering part of it.
Yeah, we have some great engineers over at Hottronics that, test all of these different things out. But I would say, honestly, it's price point. We're trying to serve or have a solution for different customers going through different journeys. So the auto clam works without that technology for this specific business type. And then going next level, we offer more features on the next press for that next business type. And then if you want both of them combined, that's where you just go to the Air Fusion technology, because everything is completely automated. So it's the best of both worlds. You get the swing away. You don't have to work under heat. So right now, I think the original idea was just having a press at a good price point that does have an auto open feature, but maybe doesn't have some of those next level features because it's going to serve this market space.
Yep.
Right. So I think that was kind of the concept behind it and the ideology of it. But it's definitely something to think about and something we'll definitely submit. But yeah, I would say most people just upgrade to that air fusion for the automation and the IQ technology. All right. So Beth says no more mass printing as she just wears the N95 now. You're welcome, James. Okay, what's this one?
I like the question that just came in.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Do you guys have heat transfer material that would last for a matter of years as opposed to just 50 or so washes? Lasting only around 50 washes is kind of limited, don't you think? I would agree with that, but that's because we just stopped testing at 50 because at that point it's just industry standard that our heat transfers are outlasting the garment. Whoever came up with those numbers, I'm not sure as far as garment lasting. But it's just industry standard for the manufacturing of shirts and apparel and other accessories and outerwear that typically after 50 washes, that t-shirt is either going to get donated or going to the trash. People aren't typically wearing it past that point. So that's where we stop our testing. In my mind, like, I don't know about you, Kelly, but I just tell people it outlasts the life of the garment. Because at some point, people are just like, I never wear this shirt anymore. And typically it's at that like 50 wash cycle. So we just kind of follow the guidelines of what the apparel manufacturers say the life of a garment is. And then we stop test washing at that point because that's where they stopped. But our products actually do last longer than that. We just throw that number out there so that you know it's compatible with what the apparel manufacturers are recommending as well.
So like another thing to think about, which I love, is there's 52 weeks in a year. So at 50 washes, that is pretty much washing or wearing that garment and washing it one time a week. And that's completely understandable if you're having to wear a certain shirt for work or work, or you're in love with this shirt and it's the t-shirt that you wear all of the time. I get it. But if I look at it from somebody that maybe it's in the restaurant industry, or they're in construction, or they're dealing with other chemicals, or something that can cause that garment to get dirty, more than likely that garment, the textile, is going to destroy or be disgusting prior to Veda.
Sorry, guys. My dog is not happy with my cat at the moment.
Prior to the transfer falling off. Now, the other thing to consider is you have to remember that the person that is taking care of the garment is not going to take care of it like the next person will. Some people, I separate by color, right? So I wash by color. And then I also do like delicates, which could be leggings, could be like certain really like nice materials that I can wash. So I do like 8 to 10 different loads of laundry a week. I have a family of 4, but I also don't just pile things in the laundry. And my husband's in construction. And I have seen shirts that he could have for 3 months get destroyed, before that transfer even had a thought of falling off. So that's just the biggest thing. Vince has a great comment right here. He was on a UCM, which is Ultra Color Max webinar, and they were at 123 washes. So it's not that the product isn't out there. It's just, we're done. Like, we're done with the wash testing on it. But it's always fun to keep testing and see where we can do.
Yeah, so here's some other great comments of people that are still going strong with some of the transfers that they've done. I really like this idea here because this could be a really good marketing tool to sell more shirts to your customers.
Absolutely.
Right. So like if you feel like it's going to get dirty a lot, maybe it's for a municipality and they are wearing that shirt once a week. offer 2 or 3 different styles to go within that, so that not only are you able to provide a solution, but you're also able to get that upsell and more profit opportunity. So thanks for sharing that, Beth. That's a really great idea. Another thing I will add to that is, as we are moving forward in the industry and new innovations are coming out left and right, especially in the apparel manufacturing world, they have to stay up on trends, right? And one of the biggest trends, unfortunately, it kind of combats another trend. So there's fast fashion, and then there's the sustainability side of it. So there's a lot of customers that are very like, go green, want, our recycled polyester, cotton poly blends. And I want the longevity of something that's going to last on that sustainable t-shirt. Then there's the other side of it where it's fast fashion, and that shirt's not going to last a long time anyway, because as we're going through generation and we're speaking to millennials and Gen Z, they're likely not wearing a shirt after 3 to 5 times. And that's what we call fast fashion. And that's where we're starting to see trends in, like low quality, because you are not seeing that shirt worn more than a few times. So it really depends on what market you're serving, what your demographic is, because you're going to have either or you might have a mix of both, right? But know your customer, know who you're talking to. I would say you're never going to have to worry about our products lasting. You just need to be in the know of what your apparel manufacturer, where you're sourcing your garments, how long they are going to last for your customers.
Carly also had a really good tip just for longevity. So if any of you are looking for something to communicate with your customers, cold water, inside out, line dry, that's always going to help any textile, okay? Because heat in the dryer is going to take some toll on a garment. It's not just what is being heat applied, but it's the fibers, it's the content in that shirt. So this is Carly's advice. It's our advice as well. So just keep that in your back pocket. If you ever have the question in your mind, can I dry it? Be safe. People aren't always going to follow instructions, right?
Right. All right. So we have just reached 58 minutes with you guys. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in and staying with us for a full hour. We have had a lot to talk to you guys about and a lot of questions to answer. If we didn't get to one of your questions, we will be sure to visit the comment section of this broadcast and make sure that we do answer your questions. And of course, we are always doing Q&A in our Facebook group. So if you haven't yet joined Heat Press for Profit, definitely, go over there, fill out the Q&A real quick, and we will approve you to join the group so that you guys can get questions and answers every day if you like. All right. So a lot of people are also in there sharing inspiration and things that they are doing, techniques that they are using for solving a lot of issues that we face day to day when it comes to heat print technology and the different heat transfers out there. So lots to learn in there. Again, thank you guys so much for joining. Kelly, it was awesome going live with you. Like I said, that's my favorite time to go live, is whenever we get to, co-host.
Feels like it's been forever, but May is in a couple of days, and I feel like Long Beach was 2 weeks ago, right?
Mm-hmm. I know.
And it was not. Like, that's just, it's crazy how quickly January, and then it was like February, March. Like,
yeah.
April.
And actually, real quick before we head out, didn't want to forget to mention this. Thank you, Carly, for commenting that.
Yes.
The spring bling sale. So we are doing, what is it? I forget. It is, hold on, I'm going to bring up my notes here because I made notes on it. Okay.
The certain colors, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, what the sale exactly is. Why can't I find it?
20% off. It's 20%.
There it is.
And I had a garment. Let me see. I don't know what I did with that I showed you and with the coral glitter flake.
I don't know, guys. Definitely on the website, though, if you guys want to check it out. I feel terrible right now. So it's 20% off of select colors of our glitter flake heat transfer vinyl. Everybody knows and loves glitter flake, so definitely be sure to check that out on the website. There's a promo code to go along with it. So get some of those colors and introduce them to your customers for a discount. That's the best time to do it. Introducing new colors to your customers with a promo. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.